In the year 2298, Commander Aaron Blake, one of NASA's most respected astronauts, was sent on what seemed like a simple mission to explore the newly discovered planet Kareth. Aaron's spacecraft landed smoothly on a rocky plain surrounded by bluish mountains that shimmered under the light of the planet's two moons. As he stepped out of the ship, he activated his communicator, but the signal was weak. "Central, this is Commander Blake, beginning ground exploration. Damn, the signal is unstable." The walk was silent for several minutes, only the sound of his footsteps echoing inside his helmet, until a strange noise, something between a whistle and a whisper, caught his attention. Suddenly, a shadow moved quickly between the trees. Aaron stopped, his heart pounding. "Who's there?" Silence answered him, but he was no longer alone. Before he could react, a beam of blue light struck him. His body froze, collapsing to the ground with a dull thud. When he regained consciousness, he found himself tied to what looked like a stone altar surrounded by feminine figures, tall and slender with bluish skin that reflected the moon's glow. Their golden eyes studied him with curiosity and desire. Where am I?" Aaron muttered, still groggy. One of the figures stepped forward, her movements slow and graceful. She was stunningly beautiful, full breasts, wide hips, and a posture that exuded power. Her lips curved into a smile. "Human," she said, her voice carrying a peculiar accent. "You shouldn't be here." Aaron blinked several times, struggling to focus on the surreal scene before him. The warriors around him whispered among themselves until the leader gestured for silence. "My name is Zara. I am the commander of the Cavalry warriors, and you are our prisoner." Despite the situation, Aaron couldn't help it. His eyes wandered over her body, admiring every perfectly sculpted curve. Her attire barely covered anything, leaving much exposed. He swallowed hard, his heart racing. I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm just on an exploration mission," Aaron explained, trying to remain calm. Zara moved closer, her face just inches from him. Her exotic scent was intoxicating, a mix of alien flowers and something electric like ozone after a storm. "Exploration?" She raised an eyebrow. "Humans always have ulterior motives." "I swear I don't." Aaron tried to break free from his restraints. "I just want to return to my ship." The warriors laughed. One of them whispered something to Zara, who smiled. "Not so fast, Earthling. You will be taken to Queen Era. Only she will decide what to do with you." With no choice, Aaron was led through a dense forest to a palace carved directly into the mountain. The architecture was stunning, filled with glowing arches and crystals that emitted a pulsing energy. In the central throne sat Queen Era, ruler of the Cavalry warriors, and Aaron was speechless. She was immense, both in height and presence. Her body, draped in a golden robe, was an alien masterpiece. Breasts that defied gravity, hips that seemed crafted to mesmerize anyone, and a crown that shone intensely as if forged from stardust. When she spoke, her voice reverberated throughout the hall. "Human, finally, I've been expecting this." A chill ran down Aaron's spine. She knew his language. "You speak English?" he asked, incredulous. Era gave a sly smile. "I speak every language in the universe. Earthling, and you are the first human I've ever seen. That makes you a rarity." Aaron took a deep breath. The Queen's gaze was intense, almost suffocating, and despite the fear, he couldn't ignore the growing desire he felt. "So, what are you going to do with me?" he asked, trying to sound confident. The Queen rose, descending the throne steps with feline elegance. Each step made the ground tremble slightly. When she stood before him, she placed a hand on his face. "I could destroy you. I could make you disappear. But you shall be granted one wish, human." Aaron's eyes widened. "A wish?" "Yes. In honor of your courage for entering our territory. What is your desire?" He hesitated for a moment. Logic urged him to ask for his freedom, to return to Earth. but his heart was pounding harder, and the sight of Era, with her full lips and luminous eyes, was impossible to ignore. He began, his voice trembling. I wish for a night with you. The hall fell into silence. The warriors around them held their breath. Era narrowed her eyes, surprised. Bold, very bold. For a moment, it seemed as if she might explode with rage. But then something unexpected happened. The queen's cheeks flushed slightly. She averted her gaze for a second before looking back at him. You have courage, Earthling. Courage and foolishness. Aaron shrugged. Perhaps. But I know what I want. Era sighed, a barely perceptible smile forming on her lips. Very well, human. Your wish shall be granted. The silence that followed Era's response was almost tangible. The Caver warriors around them appeared shocked, exchanging wary glances. Aaron tried to process what had just happened. He had actually asked for a night with the queen, and she accepted. Era moved closer, her golden eyes locked on his. She touched Aaron's face again, her long, delicate fingers tracing his jawline. You are different, human. You do not fear death like the others. Her voice carried a curious, almost amused tone. I faced death many times. It no longer scares me, Aaron replied, holding her gaze. Era's faint smile deepened as she gestured for her warriors to leave. They hesitated but obeyed. Once the hall was empty, Era took a few steps to the side, observing Aaron with interest. Your wish, she began. You realize it defies all the rules of my people, don't you? I do, Aaron replied without hesitation. But I couldn't help it. From the moment I saw you. Era walked toward a balcony that opened to the surreal landscape of Kareth. The light of the moons reflected on her blue skin, enhancing her beauty even more. It's intriguing, she said thoughtfully. I could destroy you here and now. Yet instead, I feel curious. Aaron slowly approached, stopping beside her. The soft breeze carried Era's scent once more, causing his heart to race. Maybe that curiosity is what connects us. I've never seen anything like you either, he murmured. Era turned to him, her gaze intense and enigmatic. Without another word, she lifted one hand and touched Aaron's face again, this time letting her fingers glide down to his neck. Her touch was warm, contrasting with the coolness of the night. You will have your night, human. But know this. Nothing will be as you expect. Aaron gave a faint smile. I'm ready for the unexpected. Era leaned in slowly, her lips brushing against his in a gentle, almost experimental kiss. Aaron felt his entire body respond to the touch. It wasn't just a kiss. It was a meeting of worlds, cultures, and long-repressed desires. When Era pulled back, her eyes gleamed brighter than ever. Let's see if you are truly prepared. Queen Era's chamber was a sanctuary of mystical energy. Walls made of living crystals emitted a soft, pulsating glow, creating an ethereal atmosphere. Plush rugs and exotic silks covered the floor and furnishings. At the center of the room, a massive bed, crafted from unknown materials, seemed to float slightly above the ground. Era guided Aaron to the center of the room, her steps silent and graceful like a dance. Tonight will not be just about desire, human. It will be a rite, a bond that transcends body and spirit. Her voice was firm, but there was a glimmer of anticipation in her golden eyes. Aaron nodded, his heart racing. He felt the gravity of the moment, yet there was also an uncontrollable excitement building within him. Era stood before him, her hands gently sliding across Aaron's chest, feeling the warmth of his skin. With each touch, Aaron felt a surge of energy coursing through his body. Close your eyes, Era whispered. Aaron obeyed. He felt her hands trace his face, neck, and shoulders. Each touch ignited an inner fire, a connection unlike anything he had ever experienced. Feel, Aaron. Feel Caver through me. When he opened his eyes, the crystal lights around them shone brighter. Era was closer now, their lips meeting in a deep kiss. The boundaries between human and alien dissolved, leaving only desire and a primal connection between them. The night unfolded in a dance of touches, sighs, and whispers. Era's blue skin glowed softly under the crystalline light, and every movement resonated with the energy of the entire planet. Eren lost track of time, immersed in an experience beyond anything he had ever known. As dawn broke, Era lay beside him, her fingers tracing delicate patterns across his chest. "You are now part of us," she said with a satisfied smile. "Our destinies are intertwined forever." Eren smiled, knowing his journey had only just begun. The days that followed felt like a dream. Eren wandered through Era's palace gardens, captivated by the alien flora and feeling more connected to Kareth and its queen with each passing moment. But an unsettling feeling grew within him. The warriors who once regarded him with curiosity and admiration now cast dark, unreadable glances his way. One night, while gazing at Kareth's twin moons, Zara approached silently. "Eren, we need to talk," she said, her expression serious. Eren turned to her, puzzled. "What's wrong?" Zara hesitated before speaking. "The queen, she hasn't been honest with you. There are things you need to know." Eren frowned. "What do you mean? What are you trying to say?" Before Zara could respond, a commanding presence emerged from the shadows, Era. Her expression was unreadable, but her golden eyes burned with restrained fury. "Zara, I told you not to interfere," Era said, her voice sharp. Zara lowered her head, stepping back slowly. "My apologies, Majesty." Eren's heart clenched with unease. Something was terribly wrong. "Era, what's happening?" he asked, desperation lacing his voice. The queen approached slowly, her footsteps echoing in the still night. "Did you really think you could come here, join with me, and live happily ever after?" Era's tone was bitter. "You are an outsider, Eren, a threat to our people's balance." Eren took a step back, the sting of betrayal cutting through him like a blade. "But you said our destinies were intertwined, that I was part of Kareth now." Era chuckled softly, but there was no joy in her laughter. "And you believe me? Poor thing." Before Eren could react, warriors emerged from the shadows, surrounding him. Their eyes held sorrow and regret, but their spears gleamed under the moonlight. "Era, please," Eren pleaded, tears stinging his eyes. Era stepped closer one last time, placing a gentle hand on his face. "You were a moment of weakness, human. Nothing more." And with that, she turned away. The spears closed in. Eren felt no pain, only a profound sadness as the light of the twin moons slowly faded. And so, the first human to set foot on Kareth met his end, betrayed by those to whom he had entrusted his heart.